I want a better life for my family. What's next?
I'm looking to better my career. What's next?
I just graduated from high school. What's next?
I dropped out of high school. What's next?
I'm the first in my family to go to college. What's next?
I just lost my job. What's next?
I just got out of the military. What's next?
I've just been released from prison. What's next?
I don't know what's next for me.
Don't know what's next for you? Join me, Dr. Renee Cintron, on the What's Next Louisiana podcast and discover the possibilities with Louisiana's community and technical colleges.
All right, good evening, everybody. Thank you for joining us. Welcome to another live episode of our the Louisiana podcast. What's next? What's next, Louisiana podcast? Look, see, the live version gets me all kind of messed up. So hopefully it gets everybody to relax a little bit and just enjoy the time. The purpose of our podcast is to inspire you to do what's best for you, what's next for you. Also to provide a little bit of information about our community colleges across the state, our technical and community colleges across all over. And tonight we are celebrating Hispanic Heritage Month, and we have a slew of folks to bring to you and to talk with you about all of these events and our heritage and what we cherish. And I'm here at Nunez Community College in Chalmette, Louisiana, with Chancellor Dr. Tina Tini, to tell us a little bit about you and your heritage, and especially the Isleños community here in Chalmette and in the area, and how that impacts you and the community here at Nunez Community College.
Well, thank you, Dr. Cintron, and thanks for being invited to participate in this conversation. And I'm honored to do so, honored to represent the college and our community and the system. I also feel very compelled at this point in time to honor the fact that we're able to have this conversation. And the former Governor Mike Foster want to just take a moment, compelled to recognize the fact that he had a vision for education, affordable, accessible education that put LCTCS in place. And so I'm just very proud to be here to have the conversation, knowing that our system has really embraced the opportunity to have these sorts of conversations. So thanks for the invitation. We do have a very unique community here, and our community was actually founded by the Isleños and the Canary Islanders for St. Bernard Parish. So if you're unfamiliar with that, there was the governor, another former governor of Louisiana, was Bernardo de Galvez, and he was Spanish, and the intent was to colonize Spaniards here in Louisiana, and so the Canary Islanders were brought over with that intention. And at the time, Louisiana was not in the marshes, which is where we are. It's not the most hospitable place, right? But they're very resilient, and the Isleño community depended on the land for their livelihood and their sustainability. Just incredibly hard workers and survivors, right? And so understanding that is really important, because this entire parish, which was one of the settlements for the Canary Islanders, because there were different groups that had migrated across the south. And so San Antonio is another group of Canary Islanders. And so of all of the Canary Island settlements, the St. Bernard, in honor of San Bernardo de Galvez, was one of the most successful. And so they were instrumental in a number of ways for this community and the history of this community. They were instrumental in the American Revolution. They were instrumental in the Battle of New Orleans. And so each year here at the college, we do a Battle of New Orleans celebration. And it's always interesting to me and a point of pride because they will reference the Isleño community and those individuals who really helped support and be instrumental in the Battle of New Orleans and that success. So they have a very long, rich history here in St. Bernard and our parish. And for the Isleño community, what I think I'm incredibly proud of is the fact that my uncle actually understood. He was a historian. And so he understood just the necessity to preserve and embrace and celebrate our culture and who the Isleño was moving forward. So San Bernardo de Galvez was in 1777. It's interesting, about 200 years later, right? About 1976, 77, my uncle actually had established the Los Isleños Heritage and Cultural Society here in St. Bernard Parish. And they are an incredible group of people who have worked to preserve that heritage and share our history with the community. So I, in my return, when I was appointed here, I was just incredibly proud to be able to come back to this college in particular and be able to integrate some of that culture into our campus a little bit as well. So, you know, I'm sort of just continuing to talk, but being Isleño, again, I grew up, I had a very different childhood because I grew up, I tell people, in the marsh, and that's true, on the back of a shrimp boat, and that's true, right? And I didn't even realize really, I think at the time, that as a little girl, that was just a very unorthodox type of childhood. But, you know, and in terms of education, the schooling was very different. The boys, for example, at the end of this, when summer was approaching, they would have an early release so that they could go and help family members to get the boats ready and whatnot. So as a female, my father was adamant about the fact that I was educated. And so having, you know, gone through formal education, I see the power of education, and I see how that changes families and it changes you know, lives and generations of lives. But I've also, you know, through that whole experience, I understand why it's so important, you know, to just really preserve and celebrate those cultures. As I said, they were very resilient people. And I think, you know, fast forward several generations, look at the community of people here in St. Bernard Parish. They are incredibly resilient. And I say this as we watch yet another storm on the map, right? And yet the tenacity that I see of the people around me and how they deal with the challenges, I think that is something that's just rooted in this community, and they're very dedicated to the community. And, you know, the fact that they depended on the land for their livelihood, in my trajectory, I studied biology, and I think partly it was because I was in that environment and I was so intrigued by it, right? But I will tell you, through all the formal education, you know, in that area, the most educated is if I go to the fishermen and you know, you start to ask those questions because they live it every day. It's not studied, but it's actually lived every day, right? And so that really, it concerns me in the sense that if we don't work to preserve our heritage and our culture, it's changing. There's so many influences that change our culture. And here in our geographic area, as we talk about the storms and we talk about the impacts of land and coastal erosion, what I'm concerned about is that people don't understand that it's intricately tied, coastal erosion to cultural erosion. And so as people make decisions for their families, and you know, my own family included, my sons are Isleño, but they're not on the boat fishing, right? And so if we don't have the opportunity to really celebrate and preserve, the traditions, the language, the legacies, the customs, the crafts, the music, the history, just everything that makes it so rich here, the food, it really is something to celebrate. And here in St. Bernard, probably the pinnacle event for the Isleño Society every year is they have La Fiesta. And it is just such a great festival. I will put a plug in there for anyone who wants to just have an incredible time. They've come in, and last year we had invited here at the auditorium. They made a special performance and had the Canary Island, authentic dancing and decimas and things that they shared with the community. And they worked with our culinary department to share recipes and create unique culinary dishes for the Spanish heritage. And so, I just really look forward to embracing that, to root that that history here. So much so that, I guess everyone, when you have these opportunities to serve in this way that we do, you never want to look back and think that there's a missed opportunity to do something. And so one of our initiatives here, and I guess it's a bit of a legacy project, is that the uncle that I mentioned, he had dedicated an archive of the entire oral histories of the Isleño community, and it's here in our library. So we have an initiative to really, we've worked and we've gotten some support from St. Bernard Parish government, and we have some other support from the Isleño Society and some benefactors giving us some artifacts and whatnot, so that we can have an archive and an exhibit to really sort of illustrate for our community and people outside of our community to come in and learn more about the Isleños here in St. Bernard.
That's wonderful. Thank you for sharing all of that with you, from your uncle, from your shrimp boat, from the food, and the part that you mentioned about celebrating our heritage is important. So Hispanic Heritage Month goes from September 15th through October 15th every year, and we spend it doing things like what you just described, going through food, a fiesta, and other activities like that. So let me ask you this: what's your favorite food? Or I'll give you an out if you want, since we were talking about food earlier before we got started, or a tradition that you cherish from your heritage.
So there's a lot of food that that I like. Probably though one of the ones, it's getting to be cold, and in the wintertime, I will try to duplicate it, but my mother used to make a caldo, which is the version of a gumbo, I suppose, before the Isleño. And so it's a really thick, just comfort food of sort of a white bean foundation and base, but then there's sweet potatoes and mustard greens and all of the vegetables that are in it. And so I really think, particularly now as the weather gets a little bit cooler, I think I'm yearning for the chance to make a big pot of caldo. That's probably my favorite.
That sounds awesome. My abuela would make an excellent flan, so that's my food. So we can, maybe you make the caldo, I'll bring the flan.
We'll have dinner. That sounds great.
We'll start with the flan first, I think, though. So we thank you again for hosting us. I know we'll come back to our conversation a little bit. We'll go to other places across the state. And up next, we have over at Central Louisiana Technical Community College, we have Chancellor Jimmy Sautel with a special guest, Maria Rubio, who is a student there. So let's turn over and meet Jimmy and Maria and have a conversation with y'all. How are things going at Central Technical Community College?
Oh, great. It's so great to see y'all, Dr. Cintron and Chancellor Tinney. I so appreciate your words. Greetings from beautiful downtown Alexandria, Louisiana, home of one of the newest Louisiana Community and Technical College buildings, of which we have two brand new buildings downtown, and things are just going well. We're very grateful for this event. Hispanic Heritage Month is so welcome, and we're grateful to be a part of it. And I'm grateful to be here with Maria, I mean, one of our finest students, and we're just looking forward to the conversation this evening.
Hi,
Thank
good evening.
you. Go ahead, Maria.
Good evening. My name is Maria Rubio. I'm one of the students here at Central Louisiana Technical Community College in Alexandria. I am proud to be here and I'm glad to be here at the college. I'll be graduating from this fall semester with my associate's degree in office administration. I'm super proud and I'm glad to be here again.
Maria, we're having a little bit difficulty hearing you. Missed what you graduated in. You graduated recently. What was the degree in?
I will be graduating this coming off a semester. And
So I got ahead of myself a little bit.
Yes, we'll be graduating this fall semester with my associate's degree in office administration and general office concentration.
That's amazing. Congratulations.
Thank you. And makes me really proud. And I know for my family and friends are proud of me as well, knowing that I am a first generation of my family to have this opportunity to graduate from a college. Makes me really super excited. I was born in Mexico, and so really small village called San Miguel de Allende from Guanajuato, Mexico. And I lived there for my first 6 years of my life, and then I came here to Louisiana, and I've been here for almost 20 years now. And having this great opportunity to be here in CLTCC, being able to have a better education, being here in another country where I had the opportunity to learn another language, meet great special people here with family, have know different cultures, different things that we don't have in Mexico. It's really great having a mixture of both countries here and in Mexico. And I'm proud to finish with this stage of my life, and I'm proud to continue with my education and hopefully to apply for my U.S. citizenship, even though I'm proud to be a Hispanic though.
Excellent. Thank you, Maria. That is awesome. Tell us a little bit about what you cherish from your family, from your heritage. I know that you mentioned you're a first generation student and you're graduating this semester, which, by the way, congratulations. That is amazing. And we're all excited for you for what's next for you after you graduate. So what is something that you cherish from your family growing up or from your heritage in general?
I think being persistent of my dreams, what I expect of myself to continue what I've always dreamed and have a better education, of course, and being able to have a good job with like I have now, been an office job, which I loved, and CLTC has me open great doors in that matter.
Good. Thank you. I want to shift to your chancellor so he can brag about you for a minute and get us a little bit of who Maria really is as a student. So thank you, Maria, for joining us. We'll come back around towards the end and everybody come together. Chancellor, Maria as a student and how impactful her influence as a first generation student that's graduating with her degree. What's her influence around campus?
What a wonderful question. You know, we're so proud of Maria. We're so proud of what she's doing here at the campus. You know, if I had to put it in a sentence, it would be that she lives an exemplary student life, that her work ethic, her attention to detail, her attention to class, attention to the business department is what makes her special. And so when people look at her life, they might say, that could be me. Maybe it's somebody that's on the outside looking in and they're saying, you know, maybe English is not my first language and I need to get a high set or a high school equivalency. And they see Maria and they say, that could be me. I could be getting my 2-year degree and have an opportunity waiting for me either to go into the workforce or to continue my education at one of our 4-year universities or even get another associate degree. So for that, we're very proud of her. I can't say enough of what she means to us and what she means to her student body and what her instructors say of her in such encouraging ways. And we're proud that she's a Bobcat.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. And I couldn't finish our segment here without asking you to tell us a little bit about yourself and your background.
Well, I first off want to say I so appreciate this platform. You know, this is such a wonderful segment of What's Next Louisiana. And so my mom and dad are from Albuquerque, New Mexico. My father was originally from Los Angeles, my mother from Albuquerque. And we moved to Louisiana. My father got his chemical engineering degree, and he was an engineer for 38 years, retired about 15 years ago, but he was recruited out of the University of New Mexico as a chemical engineering graduate in a diversity program with the manufacturing company in Ville Platte, Louisiana, Cabot Corporation. And he's only had one employer his entire career. And my mom went into education, and I have brothers and sisters. Although I started in the system in 1992 as an adjunct instructor, my brother and sister preceded me in the community and technical college system, or what was the technical colleges or the vocational schools. My brother became a practical nursing graduate at SLCC's Corral campus, and he is today a minister, and he uses his talents when he goes out into the mission field or when he cares for those around him, and does it with a very compassionate way. My sister got her HiSET, or as they called it back then, her GED, and is now a pharmacist in the Shreveport, Louisiana area. And my mom was an educator. I've got another sister who's an educator, and another sister who's a homemaker, but definitely an educator. And of course, I just absolutely love what we do in the mission of changing lives and creating futures. So, you know, everything that I have in this world has to do with education, faith in God, faith in family. And LCTCS and I have had a wonderful relationship. I just love being a part of the mission of what we do every day and being with those that are on this call that feel the same way. It's an honor.
Well, thank you, sir. Something that you mentioned made me think about my parents. You know, it looks like you have technical education running through your veins. And my parents are both educators, and I learned from them a good deal coming from Puerto Rico to New Orleans, and being an ESL student in the high school in New Orleans just brings great memories. Thank you, Maria. Thank you, Jimmy. What we're gonna do next, so we're gonna take a quick break to go to one of our supporters and sponsors. When we come back, we're gonna go visit an English as a second language or English language acquisition skills course at North Shore Technical Community College, specifically their Hammond campus, where Tammy Morris is the instructor, and Mayerly Rojas and Adri Javier are there. We're gonna take a quick break and come back with the North Shore folks joining us. How do you think it's going so far?
I think this is great. I'm so excited to be here, and I just inspired by these stories. And I think this is just a great part of this celebration for National Hispanic Heritage Month.
Excellent, good deal. So Tina and I will come back after these messages.
We need to talk.
This, us, it's not working out.
It's not me, it's you. I found something better.
Better rates, better perks.
And less drama.
So yeah, we're done.
I'm saying bye to banks and hello to checking that changes everything. Choice Plus checking from La Capital is here for you. Earn huge dividends on your monthly balance, plus cool perks by Bazing. Say bye to banks and hello to La Capital Federal Credit Union. Visit a branch today.
And we're back. We're back from our LA Capital spot. Hopefully you're able to support their work and go visit what they've got to offer. Let's turn to our North Shore friends. Tammy Morris, who is the instructor there of our English as a second language or English language acquisition classes. It's known for two different things. Tammy, I understand you have some folks there with you.
I do. We have several of our student ambassadors with us from the program today. I'm excited and humbled to be here to represent North Shore with these wonderful ladies. They are building their futures with us. They've been on amazing pathways. So I have Maji from Colombia and Edri from Dominican Republic. And it's amazing their stories and how they've overcome adversity. You know, in our classroom, we celebrate diversity all the time. We have 24 different countries represented in our classroom in one class, with beginner to advanced English language learners. So it's really an amazing adventure that I get to witness every day. So I'm truly humbled to be here. And Maji, I know, like I said, you're from Colombia. So tell me a little bit about your experience with North Shore and coming into the English language classroom.
Okay, my name is Majerli. I'm from Colombia. I came here as an au pair. I take care of 2 kids. And when I came here to North Shore, it was a good experience because I met a lot of people from other countries, not just from Colombia, or like there are Mexican people, like El Salvador, a lot of people. And when I talked with them, it was like, oh, our cultures, I mean, we speak Spanish, but we talk a lot of different, like, we do a lot of different things. So it was amazing. And I love, like, when we are in class, like, we can speak and we can learn and we help each other. And besides that, we can't share the food because, like, every student, like, when we finish the first semester or a period, we got together and we gathered together, like, we can read a book and we share that conversation between all of us, and all of us, we can bring food, and it's really good to share all those things between all of us.
That's wonderful. And I appreciate that because I get to benefit of eating all the food from around the world. So I truly enjoy that. One thing that you mentioned, and I love that we embrace this, is we do come together with all of the different countries, and we learn to speak in English, and we have a lot of persistence and patience. And another student ambassador who's here is Adri, and she's from Dominican Republic. And she is also moved into our LPN program here at North Shore. So can you tell me a little bit about your challenges and what you've overcome to become an LPN?
Sure. My first challenge was the language. I remember when I first got here to the community college, we only had like a week in the United States. And I came with my mom and we joined the ESL program, where we got to meet people from different parts of the world. And it was awesome, but like so far the English was like my biggest challenge, but now I feel comfortable to have a conversation and move forward. After I joined the ESL program, I noticed that they also had the LPN program, the Licensed Practical Nursing. And that was my second step. I said, I'm about to join this program too.
She's very determined.
So far it's been great, especially in this community college where everybody wants to help you out, move forward, achieve your goals. And even the security guard, it's like in the morning, good morning, how are you? Like they're very open and they're willing to help you. And I'm also excited because it will be having the RN program, the registered nursing.
So are you telling me you're going to pursue that pathway?
I'm going to as well. And
good girl.
So far, I just love it. I just love it. It's a great community, and go Gators.
That's right. It's a Gator family here, and that's how we roll. So one of the things you didn't mention, but I know I'm telling everybody, when are you graduating?
December.
She graduates this December as well as an LPN. So, and I'm excited about the RN. Yeah. And you know, I remember when you came into class, it was her and her mother and her brother, and shout out to them tonight. And I remember her saying, okay, Miss Tammy, I don't speak English, but I want to be a nurse. I want to be a nurse. And one of the challenges was the acuplacer. So, you know, we have the high set and there's other different types of testing. And I've never seen a student so dedicated to try and understand the expressions and mannerisms and testing techniques in English. I don't want to know it in Spanish. I want to know in English. And so driven. And I think that comes from heritage and from your family. So what is something that you cherish, that your family does from Dominican Republic that you continue on?
Well, I will say the values that my mom taught me since I was growing up: responsibility, discipline, being dedicated, working towards your dreams. Also, I cherish family gatherings, especially in December, Noche Buena, the 24th, where mothers and young children, they help around the house to set up the table, and we all sit down and eat and share. And then the 25th, we heat the food and then we eat it again.
So it's a couple of days of food.
Yeah, a couple of days.
There's a theme going on here, Dr. Centron, with food, I think.
Yeah.
So that's not a bad thing. And so I know, so that's what you do is on the 24th and 25th. And Maji, you were just telling me in December, a wonderful heritage of Colombia is December 7th.
Yes, that day we call it like Candles Day, because the next day is 8th that we celebrate the Mary. So the last day, we always light candles at night. So we share like with neighbors around, out of the house, like, and now all of us, we light candles and we share the food like buñuelos or natilla. So it's a really good day. And also it's really good because we go like all the family or all the friends or neighbors, we can go to see the lights, like, and it's decorated with Christmas and all around the place.
Wow. So is it just like 5 people or is it everybody?
Everybody.
So it's a large, it's everybody in the whole town.
Yeah.
And what town in Colombia are you from?
Bogota.
Bogota. And where are you from in Dominican Republic?
Santo Domingo, the main
Santo
city.
Domingo. So again, we have 2 wonderful student ambassadors who have thrived in the program. It's been truly amazing for me to witness. We have several that are going into the LPN program, the MA program. Maji wants to go into designing, maybe drafting. So we definitely love to build pathways and futures here at North Shore. So we are a big Gator family.
Thank you, Tammy. Thank you, Maji. Thank you, Adri. Appreciate that. And one of the things you said, Adri, about Noche Buena, that was awesome. That we do the same thing. Noche Buena, another holiday, which I'm sure maybe you share as well, is Dia de Reyes. So,
Dia de Reyes.
That's a much bigger deal, and you get a lot of bigger gifts, right?
Yes, well, not anymore because I'm grown now. I don't get anything, but it's awesome here in the United States to do it the 25th, but we wait until January the 6th to do it. And we all wake up in the morning, you know, excited, just like here in the United States. And I love it. I have great memories since I was growing up, but not anymore, not for me.
Good deal. Thank you all very much. So you've heard so far from folks that are graduated in business, graduated in practical nursing, studying drafting, earning English as a second language, and these programs and folks and campuses are all over the state. We've visited 3 so far here at Nunes Community College. Central Louisiana Technical College has 9 different campuses scattered from Texas to Mississippi. And we just visited North Shore, Hammond specifically, but there's several campuses in various parishes up there. So what I want to do now is bring in a couple more folks to join our group. Can we call it a party yet? No, maybe? And that's Maria Cisneros from Delgado Community College and Anita Gordon from Louisiana Delta Community College. Anita, how are you?
I'm doing okay. How are y'all?
Doing fine. Why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself and what your role is? I know you have a big role at Louisiana Delta. Tell us a little bit about that and what your plans are there.
Okay. Hello, everyone. My name is Anita Gordon. My prior name was Anita Marie Leona Gordon Rios Rubio. I know it's a mouthful. I lived in Mexico for 2.5 years. To be exact, I lived in Guadalajara, which it's 5 major cities in one. My daughter was born there. Her name's Scarlett. She was born in Taclomuca de Zúñiga. I lived in St. Augustine. I felt special because there was a town not even 6 miles down, down the calle, and it was called Santa Anita. So I felt special about that. And I have to say, when I was there, I really cherished, family. I learned family was really, really important in the culture, about unity. Yes, you can be, it's individual, it's individualistic, but at the end of the day, it was all about unity. It was very, very strong. And I mean, the family that I married into, even though I might not be with that individual anymore, they still consider me family. And, you know, they wrapped me up with open arms, and I was like, oh my goodness. And I learned about different things in the culture, like the Mariachi Bands. They were very big in Jalisco, and the guitarron, I used to not could say that. I probably ain't saying it exactly right because of my accent, but you know, the bass guitar and the costumes, as my daughter said, you know, they dressed up in, and they'd be just on the calle just playing. I mean, they'll come up to your car and just play for you. And I guess the tradition that I want to pass on mainly to my daughter would be the tapatillas, which, you know, is the Mexican dance. It's the national dance for Mexico. And it was used as a courtship, but I want her to know the history. And back in the 18 and 1900s, yes, they got the pretty skirts on, the bright colors, and they dance real pretty. But the history behind it and the fact that that was part of their culture, and I love dancing and I love music, so I guess that's why I use those two things, really caught my attention. And El Carnival, I mean, every time I turned around, there was a carnival going on in the towns that were around there. And I found that very amazing. So, I mean, it's a beautiful place. I mean, there are some things misconstrued about it. I'm majoring in biological sciences and political sciences. I'm going to graduate in May, and I'm going to ULM to be getting the DPT program, which is basically a doctor in physical therapy. And after I finish that, of course, I'll be a doctor. So that's a little bit about me. And of course, I'm the SGA president for Louisiana Delta Community College, and we have 8 campuses. I am currently the sitting president, and also I am about the only executive officer that we got because of COVID. So, I mean, it was already a big role, but I believe we can handle it because we have some wonderful senators on our campuses. So that's just a little bit about me.
Anita, it sounds like you're doing a whole bunch of good stuff at Louisiana Delta, and keep it going. Congratulations on finishing up in May. Now, you say you're studying biological sciences, and I happen to have a biological science expert right next to me. Anything to add?
So, well, I think you chose a perfect discipline of study. It is absolutely a very dynamic way to move into a career. So congratulations on that finish, and finish strong, because if you are going for physical therapy, you know, you want to apply with the very best GPA. You said you're graduating in May, so just keep up the hard work and be persistent. And it's a fabulous way to, you know, to have a career.
No, thank you so much. And you're right very much about our GPAs, because if we have 3.0 or higher up here in Monroe area, they'll waive our degree exam. So I'm very, very excited because I have over a 3.0. So, yeah. And oh, by the way, my favorite food is coffee and pan de dulce, which is like sweet rolls. I love, 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 love breakfast. So.
Love it. Thanks, Anita. I was going to ask you something else too. A couple of more questions. Any challenges that you've overcome in your experiences? Because you've had such a diverse experience that you shared with us. So that's question 1. And then question 2, what's your favorite song right now?
Well, if I want to go into reggaeton, I do listen to them. And I'm a big fan of Don Omar, believe it or not. And a Virtual Diva, I mean, yes, it's an older song, but that's like it. I'm like a Don Omar fanatic. And I do like Daddy Yankee as well. And yeah, I look kind of, you know, sometimes people think I look ridiculous because they're like, what are you jamming to? Because I'll be going down the hallway sometimes and I'll be singing it. And I guess I would have to say in, you know, the United States, my favorite song right now, I would have to say is let me think of it. What is it called? It's by Reba McEntire. Yeah, I like a little bit of country. I like all dialects of music, but all the women I am. So, and I guess you would say a lot of the things that I have had, you know, just in experience and that I've seen on our campuses. Me personally, when I was in Mexico, I did speak a little bit of Spanish and I did take Spanish classes. And when I went there, totally different. The way I spoke, I realized I was not speaking all the way correctly. And I just started listening to people talk, and I was able to learn that way. And I would beg people to talk to me, even if it was slang, just so I could learn it. Because believe it or not, if you don't know that language, it's just a dead stop. And if you put it vice versa here, it's the same way. I mean, it's a totally different language for them. And then the English language is so complex. And we have a DSL adult education program here that is also, and our Delta link has moved on our main campus here in Monroe. But it's for students that speak foreign language. And they also provide, you know, special tutoring and help them in their classes. And most of them go on and achieve a associate's degree, and because they want to do more. And so, I mean, I would say the language barrier is a lot. And then also the diversity, because I mean, we just have we're a non-traditional college here. So, I mean, you walking down the halls, it's no telling what you would see, and the different cultures, the way we mix. I mean, you see it as an issue, but it's funny because somehow, some way, we always unify, and we always come as one. Because at the end of the day, it doesn't matter if you're black, white, red, green, or orange. At the end of the day, we all bleed red. You know, we're all one. We're all the same people. And so, I mean, I guess that's, like I said, our language barrier. But like I said, I mean, a lot of people don't want to talk about diversity, but I think all of us have it. It's just the fact of how we choose to overcome it. And that's something that we're working at our college just to make sure that our students understand and realize that we care about them. We care about their culture. We care about who they are and their background. And it doesn't matter who you are, because at the end of the day, you're a Deltanite, and we want you to move forward, and we want you to succeed.
Thank you very much, Anita, for that. I really appreciate it. Anita from Louisiana Delta. We're gonna shift over, and we'll bring you back in with everybody at the end. Maria Cisneros at Delgado Community College. How are you? Tell us a little bit about yourself, your experiences, and how you came to be at Delgado and what you're doing there.
Thank you, Renee. Thank you for inviting me to this fiesta, like you said it. I'm very happy to be here, sharing my experience with all these wonderful people. And I did not know that Dr. Tini was actually Isleña. That, you know, that was a nice surprise. And, you know, more things that we can kind of share, right? Well, I came to the U.S. For a visit, and I love, you know, New Orleans. And the first thing that struck me was that there were no mountains. So I was like, oh my God, where are the mountains? There is no mountains. And you know, I end up staying here because my aunt, mi tía, offered me to stay and maybe learn English. And I did. I took the opportunity, I took the offer, and I enrolled at Delgado Community College in the ESL program. And time went by, and I find out that I can also get 2 degrees. Now that I'm enrolled at Delgado, I'm finishing up with ESL. Let me see if I can enroll in an associate degree, so I can, when I go back to my country, I can seek better opportunities, right? You know, with being bilingual and now with an associate degree. So I end up completing 2 associate degrees, one in computer information systems and one in business administration. Then I was close to graduate from the 2 degrees back in the day. I'm not gonna tell you the year. And I find out that Delgado had a 2+2 with Tulane University, you know, the 2+2 articulation with the Computer Information Systems program. And I said, wow, this is wonderful. So I transferred to Tulane University and I finished up my bachelor's degree. Then I was hired at Delgado as, you know, contract employee, and I started meeting people. And the opportunity came when they offered me, well, I applied for it, and I was hired as the college registrar when I was young, you know, I was in my middle 30th. And I've been in this position for the past 18 years. And it's been wonderful. I went back to UNO. I enrolled at UNO, and I went back to get my master's degree, and I completed my master's degree. And I was starting to get my PhD when Katrina hit. And, you know, it took a long time to recover. And then, you know, after we recover, then, you know, they changed the system. You know, the implementation with Banner. So it's been one thing after the other that now I don't think I want to go back and get it, because it's just, I'm tired, to tell you the truth. But I never said never, you know, maybe one day, you know, I might end up, you know, getting the courage and enrolling a PhD program. But I am very excited. I'm happy. Delgado is very near and close to my heart, because, you know, my whole tenure has been here at Delgado and as a student. And I pretty much know almost everybody, all the ESL instructors that are now retiring, you know, and I'm just happy to be here. And that's my story.
Thank you, Maria. Let me ask you about a challenging experience that you overcame and you ended up being successful in. I know you talked about being a college registrar for 18 years. So that means they hired you when you were 5. So
Yes.
Tell me about
They did.
Right? Something challenging that you overcame in your journey.
Well, in the beginning, it was a little bit, well, I found it a little, you know, challenging. I used to go to meetings and I was young and inexperienced. And it seems that, you know, having an accent I was kind of perceived like I didn't know what I was doing, you know. I think it was kind of lack of knowledge. That's the way I want to put it out, that people didn't know how to deal with me. You know, I was young, and I mean, I feel that I'm, you know, very go get it, you know. And they were starting making jokes around, you know, how do you pronounce this? How do you pronounce this word? Because I mean, I'm still learning English, and I'm never gonna finish learning, you know. And sometimes, you know, when I was younger, I would not, you know, they will throw like a word. Like I remember one time somebody said, yeah, it was a spread of the moment. And I was like, what is that? I couldn't get past. I mean, I got stuck in that sentence because I didn't know what it was. And I was so afraid and embarrassed to ask. Now, you know, you get wiser and older. And now, you know, when I don't understand and somebody throws a new word, I'm like, I immediately ask, what do you mean? What is that? You know, what does that mean? And they, you know, they very graciously explain, no, this is what it means. I said, oh, that makes sense. So that was one of the biggest challenges that I had. But I learned that when they were laughing at me, I just joined them and I started laughing with them, you know? And that really kind of solved kind of like the issue, because I realized that, you know, if I start, you know, just being upset about it, because the one who's being upset is me, not them. I mean, that was the way of dealing with me probably. But, you know, as time has gone by, you know, they kind of got used to me and got used to me, you know, with my accent. And, you know, and now it's normal, you know, they understand me, because before I don't think they were able to understand what I was saying. Now they understand me, they know who I am, and, you know, and we have a very good relationship.
Something you said about the lost in translation sometimes, it reminds me when I moved to New Orleans. So in Puerto Rico, you have parroquias or parishes, which is the same thing you have here. You have parishes. So when I'm filling out this form and it says county, I had no idea what that was, so I thought it was missing an R, so I started putting USA. But it was it was Paris. So, but yeah, I can definitely see how things can get lost in translation. To help us with that, what we're going to do now is we're going to take a little break. We won't get lost. We'll come back together and all of us in one place to kind of wrap this up and finish up our Hispanic Heritage Month celebration. So we'll take a quick break, go on to our commercial, and we'll be back with everybody.
BIPSI's Open Campus free online course system is excited to offer ESL modules. The ESL modules are easy to learn video segments paired with lessons that allow students to practice, study, and review common difficult concepts experienced when learning the English language. Please share the BIPSI Open Campus ESL modules with any English language learners.
All right, and we're back. We should have everybody on the screen. And I want to first of all thank everybody here. So some folks behind the scene and that have been extremely helpful in getting all this together. Thank you to our host here at Nunes Community College, Dr. Tina Tinney. We have some folks at Central Louisiana Technical Community College, Maria Rubio and Jimmy Sotel, the chancellor there. Our friends at North Shore Technical Community College, Maji, Adri, and their instructor, Tammy. And Louisiana Delta Community College, we have Anita Gordon. And from Delgado, we just heard from Maria Cisneros. Thank you very much for making this a very nice celebration for all of us. As you can tell, we have a pretty diverse group of people from all different countries, from Mexico, Colombia, El Salvador, Dominican Republic, all over the place. And some that are from here, the United States as well. So we recognize that, and knowing the different campuses and programs that we have, offerings all over the state in the Louisiana Community and Technical Colleges. If you want to find out more about our colleges, definitely you can visit lctcs.edu and you can see the list of our college locations on the webpage there. But before we go, I want to ask anybody and everybody who wants to chime in, maybe we'll get everybody to jump in at once. We'll see how that works. Is there a particular word or phrase that you think of you and your family that represents you? I'll give you my example. My example is huepa. It's a phrase or a word rather that's a jubilation, excitement. This is awesome, amazing. That's what that means. Any word from you, Dr. Tinney, or anybody on the line?
Sorry. In Colombia, we say a lot of parce. Like sometimes, like you have your close friends, you say, "Hey, parce, how are you?" or things like that. We love to say that, and even like people that you don't know, you say, "Hey, parce, come here, help me," or something like that. We love to say parce.
Well, in Dominican Republic, we say, "Hey, ¿qué lo que, hermano?" We always call everyone hermano, like we're sisters, like we're brothers, siblings, or something. So that's how we say it.
And we are international today. We have families from Colombia and Dominican Republic who watched us today. So we wanted to say hello to them because we are a huge family. And I think for me, the word that represents everybody here is a pot of gumbo because we just have everything in it and it's just really good. So.
That's great. Anybody else?
Dos pelos. Yes, it means hair, but in Mexico, when we were excited or happy, it was a way of saying awesome. We always said de pelos. So.
Deal. Thanks, Anita.
In El Salvador, we said chivísimo, meaning we like it. It's beautiful. Oh, chivísimo.
In our family, it's ese. You see somebody, it's kind of the translation would be like buddy, guy, lady. Hey, how's it going, ese? Or it's just ese, which is one word, but it means How are you doing? How's it going? What's going on? Give me the scoop.
Good deal. What about you?
Que linda.
Que linda.
I can just always remember Bob. You see something, que linda, and it's awesome. So
That's great. Thank you. Maria Rubio, did we hear from you or?
Yes, Miss Maria Cisneros, she used one that we always use also is chido, which means that we like it. We use it a lot.
Oh, great. So the same word there. That's awesome. Well, everybody, thank you all very much. Celebrating Hispanic Heritage Month and celebrating diversity and equity and inclusion in general is very important for our culture. I mean, you brought this up when you first started about growing not just ourselves, our community, but also our cultures. Any last bit you want to add?
I'm so grateful to be part of the conversation. I really enjoyed it. Again, thank you for inviting me. When I was listening to all of your stories, and I'm hearing about the language, and you were asking about the language. My mom's first language, it was Spanish, and she did not finish. The same exact story. She struggled in school, especially at that time, right? And so she didn't finish. We actually started a scholarship here for our adult ed learners to finish high set because she did not finish high school. And what I'm hearing is people, refer to the struggle of the language, but it's perspective because she did not teach me Spanish because she thought it would be a barrier. When in reality, it's an opportunity. It's such an opportunity. And so I have regret. I'm looking to sign up for our conversational Spanish. I mean, I want to learn it like, oh my goodness. And so to be, I'm just going to encourage you, finish your degree paths, finish your education, keep going. Maria over at Delgado, you too, for the PhD, just because it's there and really embrace your unique self and use that ability, that opportunity to be bilingual because it's a benefit. It's not a barrier. In my opinion, it's just, I have the barrier because I don't speak the language, so.
You made me, thank you. You made me think about something. Anita, how many languages do you speak?
I speak English, French, Spanish, and Latin.
I think you got most of us beat. That's awesome.
Well, I mean, I spoke French because a lot of my family is actually of French heritage, and I wanted to learn Latin. I just didn't realize how difficult it was until I started studying it. And it always happened like the night before I could do it. And I would study all week, all weekend. And same thing even when I was learning Spanish. And I just was like, and yes, English has a lot of different meanings for words, but Spanish does too. I learned that real quick. So, and then it took me a minute to understand that a lot of the phrases and words were backwards. Even though it meant the same thing that I'm saying forwards, I would try translating in English. I said, hold on, this ain't right, especially when I started trying to do homework and stuff like that. And then I realized, oh, okay, it's supposed to be that way. But I really liked, learning all the different languages. And one day I'll be able to roll my R's good enough in Spanish to where people will understand me besides saying que. So thank you.
Good deal. Thanks.
So yeah, and on that note, again, on the language, I can't help but note the other day I was walking campus and just going through classrooms and halls, and I just I ran into one of our students of Hispanic origin. Her name's Marcelo Estrada. She's got a scholarship here. She's in our P-Tech program, and she was explaining the same thing. It's difficult. I listen to it and I hear the professor in English, but then I'll translate to Spanish to understand it more and then go back and listen to it. So all that extra work. And I said, you're going to be so successful, to have that perseverance and to work that hard. So I'm inspired by all of the stories that I've heard tonight by our students here. And I just, just really am proud to have, to be a part of this. And thank you for hosting it, Renee.
Well, thank you again, and to all the Nunes Community College family here for hosting and having this nice setup. I appreciate it. North Shore Technical Community College for hosting Tammy and her group there. Central Technical Louisiana Community College for being part of this. as well as Louisiana Delta and Delgado Community Colleges, and Bossier Parish Community College, who had a little 30-second spot there for their online ESL program. That's excellent. And like I said earlier, we have programs and colleges all over the state, 60 plus locations scattered all over for our 12 community and technical colleges. You can go to lctcs.edu and look up the college that's near you. And before I wrap up, I want to ask everybody that's listening or watching it live or watching the recording later, however you want to do it. I want to ask you one thing. For you, what's next? Think about that and figure out what's the next thing that you have going on in your life. Again, this podcast is intended to inform and to inspire. And hopefully we've done both of those. Thank you very much, and everybody have a good evening.
Thank you.